Okay, I'm back, and gonna be a bit simpler this time. Just going through each generation of Pokemon, my favorite of everything. The only one that I'm not gonna do is going to be uh the Spinda. But yeah, so Gen 1 normal types, there's a lot. But honestly, like, even despite all this, there are a few standouts. Raticate, ironically enough, it's pretty funny because no one would really expect it to be anyone's favorite, but it's probably up there for me for the Gen 1 normal types just because I've. The amount of times I've used it in a Nuzlocke, even when it had Runaway and not Guts, and it just ended up popping off with random Thunderbolts or Shadow Balls that it wanted, or that I decided to throw on it, and it did really well in those. I was really shocked with how Raticate has done a lot for me. It's definitely up there. I'd say probably 4th or 5th. Snorlax is always a classic. Chansey is bulky as shit. Tauros is the king of Gen 1 OU. But at the end of the day, I gotta go with Eevee. It's just too cute. And but I'll allow myself multiple of the same evolution line if it's a situation where it's like a split evolution. So, for Gen 1 fire types, it's Ninetales. It's no question it's Ninetales. Like, I'm sorry, nothing will compare to Ninetales for Gen 1 fires for me. Arcanine, really cool. I fucking hate the entire Charizard line. Rapidash is fine. Magmar is neat. I actually like Moltres, even though it does look like a rubber chicken, I'm not gonna lie. Flareon's cute and cool. I like it. But they just don't compare to Ninetales for me. Now for water, there are a few really cool front runners. Tentacruel, I have loved using. It always ends up being just a bit stronger, bulkier, and faster than you expect every time you use it. And it feels really weird because it is mostly just a special tank, but then you see it actually doing good damage and outspeeding a lot, and it's shocking. And then Starmie just has so much versatility in every field. Gyarados is like one of the most relevant Pokemon in every field. The best Nuzlocking Pokemon that's not typically banned. It's been really good in a lot of VGC formats. Been amazing in competitive singles for the most part. In draft leagues, it's really great. But for me, it's Lapras. I've used that thing so much. It's saved having to go to do the Voltorb flip shit and Heart Gold Soul Silver so many times for me. I love Lapras. I love its design. I love its move pull. I love how insanely bulky it is. I love how with Shell Armor, it effectively just completely nullifies Claire's Kingdra, making Sniper completely irrelevant because it can't crit. And then for grass types, it's Venusaur. I love this guy. Easily the best Gen 1 starter, both design-wise and gameplay-wise. It's so bulky, it still manages to be just strong enough, both physically and specially, to do what it needs to do strength-wise, while still being the massive defensive behemoth that it is, somehow also outspeeding a lot at the same time. Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, amazing utility there. I love Venusaur. Jolteon for electric types. Like, Zapdos is probably right after, but I'm definitely still going with Jolteon. Just really fast. Really strong. The move pool's the one thing that I don't like about it in a lot of senses. Because, like, even in game, it gets a bit frustrating at times when it's like, oh, okay, so this Pokemon is grass type. It resists electric. Oh, this isn't one of the very few games that has tutoring available. So no Signal Beam. Hidden Power is completely random. No Hyper Voice. Do I have the Shadow Ball TM? I do not yet. Okay, well then, I guess I'm just completely reliant on the other Pokemon in my party because Jolteon can't touch it. That's a problem that a lot of evolutions have, though. Complete reliance on Shadow Ball for coverage. It's the only evolutions that don't really have that issue are Sylveon and Vaporeon. For Ice, I'm gonna try to do no repeats, so wait. What am I thinking? Obviously, it's going to be a different psychic type when I get there, but yeah, I'm gonna say Jynx. I used to hate this Pokemon for its design, but through a lot of Gen 1 Nuzlocke I've done, I've grown quite fond of the Pokemon, using it to absolutely annihilate a lot of the late game, especially in the Elite Four, with positive matchups against all of Bruno's Pokemon, all of Agatha's poison types, like half of Lance's team. It's just really fun, really enjoyable to use. For Gen 1, I'm not really too... What would the word be? I'm not too big on Gen 1 fighting types. Machamp is the one that appeals most to me. I just find it a neat design. It's really strong, but still not the best for me. For poison types, I think I'll have to go Nidoking. Just really... I love the design. I love its stature. And actually, now looking at it, I think I'm going to go ground type instead because I don't see anything that would be ground type for Nidoking. And then I'm going to go poison or Tentacruel for poison type. For the same reasons I mentioned earlier, I just really like Tentacruel's design as well. For flying type, Dragonite's obviously going to be the dragon type, so I'm not going to use that. I'm trying to avoid repeats, so... I'll say Dodrio. Really enjoyable to use. Stupid Tri-Attack RNG and Fire Red and Leaf Green, where there is no physical special split yet, is fun and ridiculous. It learns Drill Peck by level up, so it's not stuck in the same area as Pidgeot, where it has shit attacking stats, shit stat moves. It's just really good overall. Then Alakazam. Like, I know it's casual, it's conformist, even though it's not conforming to any standards at all. I've heard a few stupid people say that, but I love Alakazam. Despite not being a really technically impressive design, I love it. It's goofy, but it's enjoyable. For bug types, I'm gonna say Scyther. Just because, actually, I don't even know if Scizor will in either category for Gen 2. Maybe. But I love using this thing. I love its design. I love how competitive it basically has a 120 base power stab move with dual wing beat when you have Technician. And it can run either heavy duty boots or Eviolite. It's... This thing I enjoy in so many different formats. It's really cool. I like it. For rock types, there's not much here, but I guess I'll go with Golem. It's really helpful for the first few gems in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. That's where I've built up a lot of my fondness for it with Nuzlocke and such. It can be really helpful at certain points in a lot of games, and then a lot of times it just falls off as well, because late game battles typically have a lot that's good against it. Ghost types, Gengar. Like, there's no other options other than Haunter and Ghastly. I'm sorry, so Gengar is the only real choice I have. Now, there's no dark types that were in Gen 1. No Pokemon that got dark added or got their type changed to dark, so I'm just going to put the substitute there. Can't really do anything. But let's see. Steel, Magneton, like, it's shockingly strong. decent bulk, especially with Eviolite. That decent goes to really good. It's fun to use. Fairy type, honestly, as much as I hate how broken it is in specifically Gen 8 poke abilities, and then still pretty annoying it is in Gen 9 poke abilities, it's stupid fun to use, and it can be ridiculous in Gens 6 through 8 as well, but I like it. Fun, goofy design, Clefable, just, I like it. Venusaur, obviously my favorite starter, as you can see from there. Gimmick form, in terms of it, if we were going by just sheer upgrades to the original form, Beedrill would be my favorite upgrade in general, because holy shit, they made that thing go from awful to 150 base attack, 145 base speed, adaptability. But all that is the biggest upgrade from how I like the original to how I like the gimmick form. I still like Mega Venusaur more. For Legend, it's the normie pick, but I gotta go with Mewtwo there. And for my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon in general, Lapras. Like, Lapras has always been my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon. I've always really enjoyed using it. I love the Loch Ness Monster inspired design. It's just really cute. And shockingly adept in battle. Ursaring. When it comes to Gen 2 normal types, definitely Ursaring. It's 130 base attack for a Johto Pokemon is crazy. It's shockingly bulky until later gens where power creep really sets in. It outspeeds a shocking amount for base 55 speed in the Johto games. It does really well, which is something I wouldn't expect looking at its base stats. Then, Typhlosion's my favorite Pokemon of all time. Spoiler alert, it's going to be put us out at the end of it. It's obviously my favorite Gen 2 fire type. Now, for Gen 2 water types, let's go to the fairy first, just so I can see. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to put Azumarill as the fairy, because there's nothing that comes close to it for me. And then, I think my favorite water type after Azumarill would be Lantern. Favorite grass type, I love Meganium. I don't care what people say about it. Yes, it's terrible in-game. It does awful against the gym leaders, but I love it. It's a really cute design. I love the battle cry. And I wish that it got more love. Electro type, Ampharos is number 3 on the list of my favorite Pokemon of all time. It literally goes Typhlosion, Tyranitar, Ampharos, Lapras, and then there's a 3-way tie between Togekiss, Espeon, and Sylveon. But yeah, I love Ampharos, man. Ice types are really slim pickings, especially if I can't go with any, or if I'm doing species clause, because these Pokemon play so similar. Because how I'm doing it, like, let's say, Eevee compared to Espeon are so different, Jolteon compared to Espeon are so different, Scyther compared to Scizor really different, but Sneasel and Weavile, almost the same function. Piloswine and Mamoswine, almost the same function. Vigoroth and Slacking, different enough functions to where I could separate them if it had enough categories for it. But because of that, I'm gonna go down and see Gen 4 Ground real quick. See if there's anything else. Garchomp will probably be the dragon, but ooh. Huh, now that's actually going to be hard for me. Oh, never mind. Okay. So, yeah. With me putting Mamoswine as the ice and Weavile as the dark, my only option here left is Delibird without doing repeats, because I only am okay with repeating if the evolutionary lines play differently, and it doesn't in this case. So I don't really like Delibird, but it's the only option left at that point. Heracross for fighting, because Gen 2 only introduced 3 new fighting types, and I really do like Heracross's design. It's stupidly strong. It has solid enough bulk, solid enough speed. Guts is insane. Poke ability it's shockingly really good in right now, because Trailblaze definitely the biggest buff, but also Terra Normal, so you can get that stab facade is really nice. Poison has to go to Crobat. There's nothing else that can really come close to it. Ground. This is a tough one, but I do think I'll have to say Donphan. Ooh, flying types. I can say immediately that it's going to be narrow. It's going to be narrowed down between Skarmory, Mantine, and Noctowl, but I think I'm going to go Skarmory. Because what are the other Steel type? Okay, yeah. So, first off, Psychic types, Espeon. Like I said earlier, it's tied at number 5 on the list of my favorite Pokemon of all time with Sylveon and Togekiss. Bug type. Since I already have Heracross, it's going to be between Scizor and... what's it called? Scizor and Forretress, so... Actually, I'm going to put Steelix over Forretress for Steel. But yeah, Scizor for Bug. Tyranitar's... I said it earlier, it's number 2 on the list of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so duh. I'll have to say Umbreon for favorite Gen 2 Dark type. I love Houndoom's design, but it's probably going to get the gimmick form. Yeah. Because I love Mega Tyranitar and Mega Ampharos, but I don't like them as much as their original forms, and I like Mega Houndoom more than I like their Megas. Only option is Mischievous. Only option is Kingdra for Ghost and Dragon. Starter, duh, it's Typhlosion, my favorite Pokemon of all fucking time. For Legend, Lugia. Soul Silver's, despite its countless flaws, my second favorite game of all time. Favorite from Gen 2, yeah, still Typhlosion, duh. Now on to Gen 3. I don't know how long I've been recording at this point, so I'm just gonna try to blitz through. Let's see. Swallow's there. What options are there here? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go Swallow there. Over at the flying, that's gonna go to Altaria. Fire's gonna be Blaziken. Water, yeah, it's gonna be Swampert. Grass, gonna be Sceptile. Really solid selection of starters. Definitely the best starter selection I've seen. Okay, yeah, Manectric, duh. Like, it's between Manectric, Plusle, and Minun. Those are just like 5 basic team members there. Walrein. It's really bulky, despite its really poor type. 8 times ice resistance is funny as well. Breloom. Swallow, no D's nuts joke even required. It's just, he's a goofy little guy and I love it. Now, for ground, Flygon. Oh wow, that means we're getting every non-legendary dragon type in here. Psychic, Gardevoir. Wait, actually... Okay, I'll go Gardevoir for Fairy instead. And then, what are the Steel options? Okay, yeah, I'm going to go Metagross for Psychic so I can put Aggron for Steel. Then, Dustox is... I've built up a connection to the Pokemon through a lot of Nuzlocks I've done. Pretty much an effortless stop to Brawly. Ooh. Huh. You know, fuck it, Cradily. I'll put Cradily as the rock type instead of changing up my favorite steel type. It's a goofy, stupid face, 8 dicks, that entire fucking joke. I love how the community made an entire thing out of that. For Ghost, Bayonet, I really like... Its mega is really cool. It may end up winning favorite gimmick form, but it's goofy. The backstory is a bit haunting. Dragon type, Salamence. Dark type, Absol. Starter, Blaziken. Gimmick form. Oh, Absol. I forgot that Absol had a mega. Legend. I'm going to say, actually, since we're going by the legends as a whole and not their gimmick forms, I'll go Latios instead of Groudon. Favorite overall? Ooh. I'm going to have to say Swellow for my favorite overall from Gen 3. Let's see. Those are all the... What are the flying type options to compare it to then? Okay, yeah, I'm absolutely going Staraptor for normal. Infernape for fire. Empoleon barely edges out Gastrodon. Roserade unless... Okay, yeah, Poison has other Pokemon. Luxray. Weavile. Instant I already see Mammoth... Actually, wait. Mamoswine. Hippowdon. Gliscor. Garchomp. Weavile. Okay, that deals with a lot of it. Poison type's going to be Drapion. Fighting type's going to be Lucario. Psychic type. Honestly, I'll put Gallade as my favorite psychic type from Gen 4. I wouldn't have done that before my first playthrough of Sword, but it really put in a lot of work in my first Sword playthrough. I really enjoyed it. For Bug, I'm going to have to go Yanmega, which I'm glad that I was able to get it in one slot because I gave Flying to another. For Rock type, honestly, Rhyperior is a really solid design. It does feel a bit goofy from time to time, but good design, really strong, shockingly bulky. I can enjoy it. For the Ghost types, I love how ominous Frostlass is and how much it makes people rage at Candace even though Fan attack Umbreon. I guess that's just Autism Brain plus Nuzlocke strats, but it's a funny rage Pokemon. Steel type, huh? If I change fighting, because Lucario is definitely my favorite of the Steels. Honestly, yeah, I like Toxicroak enough to put it as fighting more than I really do any of the Pokemon other than Lucario and Steel to take that spot. Togekiss is the favorite flying or fairy type because it's between that and Mime Jr. And for an favorite starter, I'm going to say Mega Lopunny, definitely my favorite Gen 4 gimmick form. Favorite legend, I've always been a Palkia guy. Then, favorite Gen 4 Pokemon, another normal flying type with Staraptor. Favorite Gen 5 normal type. Let me go to flying real quick to see if Braviary has any competition there. Okay, it does not. So... between Stoutland and Minccino, ooh. Or Cinccino, not Minccino. I think I'm going to have to go Cinccino. Then for fire type, Darmanitan. Water type is pretty limited, but Jellicent. Serperior. Galvantula. Cubchoo. Mienshao. Scolipede. Excadrill. Reuniclus. God, that thing's so broken in poke abilities. Excelgor. Gigalith. I already used Jellicent for water type, so Cofagrigus. Haxorus. Crocodile. Honestly, it wouldn't have been this up until my most recent completed hardcore Nuzlocke of Black 2 that I did in challenge mode, but with the level caps of normal mode. Battle armor, leftovers, swords dance, iron defense. It goes so crazy when it can't be crit and they're attacking on a boosted physical side. Only options for fairy are Whimsicott and Cottonee, so Whimsicott. Favorite starter, Serperior. Favorite gimmick form. I'm not counting any of the stuff that's not Gigantamax, Garbodor, or Mega Audino. Mega Audino is cute. I like it. For favorite legendary, Cobalion. And then a favorite Gen 5 Pokemon in general is Excelgor. I know a lot of people are going to be shocked by that, but I really like the design. I think it's really cool. So, I'm not going to include any of the Megas or anything for the Gen 6 stuff. So, what electric types are there? Heliolisk doesn't really have any competition for electric types there, so I'll put it there. What are the ground types? Zygarde, Diggersby, and all the Megas, so I'm just going to put Diggersby there. Because I have some good memories with Diggersby at least. Oh yeah, fire's going to be Delphox, so Pyroar. Greninja for water, obviously. Then, I really like Trevenant's design, so I'll put it there. My only real options are Aurorus and Avalugg, because I'm not going to select any Megas for Gen 6 stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be Aurorus. Fighting. Let's see. Would that free me up to put something else that I would like in the flying spot if I chose Hawlucha for fighting? Okay, yeah. I'll put Hawlucha in fighting. Then Dragalge is my only real poison option. Talonflame and flying. I'm not gonna lie, I do really like the Meowsticks. So I'm gonna go with the female one specifically, just because I enjoyed Smooth Pull more. Then Vivion's the only bug that you can really choose from, but I specifically really love that purple pattern. I think the only time I used it, I got it from a Wonder Trade where the Scatterbug is from somewhere in Japan. For rock types, Tyrantrum. It's just so badass. I love it. Then Aegislash for Ghost. Let's see. Ooh, actually, I'm going to do Aegislash for Steel. That'll allow me to switch Ghost up to Trevenant. So I can switch Trevenant over here. For... Would I pick Chestnut even? Then I'll go back to Go-Goat. For Dragon, let's see. I already have Dragalge. I already have Tyrantrum. Not doing any legends. So it's between Noivern and Goodra. I really love how goofy Goodra is, so I'm going to go with Goodra. Dark type, since I already have Greninja there. Just, I think... Yeah, Pangoro. Now, I know it's going to seem crazy to say this, but honestly, I kind of prefer Floette over Florges, just because my first playthrough of Pokemon Y, I didn't know that Floette evolved at all, so I was using an unevolved Pokemon throughout my entire run. Greninja, favorite starter. Favorite gimmick form from all the Gen 6 stuff. The only one that I'm going to count for it is Diancie, because it's the only actual Gen 6 Pokemon. for the gimmick form list there, so yeah. Favorite legend is going to be Xerneas. It's fucking broken, but it's stupid fun. Favorite Pokemon? Oh, it's close between Hawlucha and Greninja, but I think I'm going to say Greninja for that. Huh. I'm going to come back to the normal type. Now for fire, what are the ghost options? So I could put... Alright. Some really strong water types as well. What are the fairy type options? Alright. So... Shit, where's... Oh, there's Ghost. Yeah, I'll switch it up there. That way I can fit a Lilliwack on there too. I think I'm just gonna... What flying types do I have as an option? Yeah, I'll put Oricorio above Toucannon. So that means... What flying types? Any... Okay, so Comma-O for Dragon, which frees up Beware for fighting, and then Toucannon, yeah. I'm gonna go with Vikavolt there. I'm gonna count regional forms as separate Pokemon, so because they function in battle really differently compared to the normal forms most of the time. Favorite poison type is going to be Alolan Muck, Mudsdale. Now, pretty much all of the psychic types. Wow. So I'll say Alolan Raichu. For bug type, I'll go Ribombee. Rock type, definitely Dusk form looking rock. You know what? I'll free that up. Incineroar for Dark, Alolan for Fire, Mimikyu for Ghost, Alolan Sandslash for Ice, and Alolan Ninetales for Fairy after switching everything up. For Steel, damn, my options are Togedemaru and Alolan Dugtrio because of dupes and then legendary-like Pokemon. So, I guess I'll go with the 3 Owen Wilsons. Now, Gen 7 starters, I love them all. I really do think it's one of the better generations of starters, but I think I'm going to barely have to put Incineroar above everything else. Now, out of the ones that I have not chosen, that leaves Alolan Golem, Gigantamax Melmetal, Ultra Necrozma, which I'm excluding both of those two. So after exclusions, is Alolan Raticate, Alolan Persian, Alolan Golem. I'm gonna go Mustache Man. Favorite legend or legend-like Pokemon? Zeraora. Favorite Gen 7 Pokemon in general? Honestly, probably Incineroar. Favorite Gen 8 normal type? It's going to be Obstagoon unless I don't have a better Ghost or Dark type. Okay, yeah, Thievul's my favorite Dark type from Gen 8, which means Obstagoon can be a normal. Okay, options are really limited, so I'm just going to say Cinderace, Barraskewda, because Why does it have 123 attack and 136 speed at base? That's broken. Rillaboom, because Grassy Glide spam and Gen 8 was really fun and dumb. Toxtricity. Brosmoth. For fighting types. Surfetch'd. Poison types. Jeezing. Sandaconda. Corviknight. Duh. The psychic types are really underwhelming in Gen 8. Wow. Is there at least a... Okay, thankfully there's Rapidash there. Wait, or I can put Rapidash here and try to have a different fairy type take that spot? Maybe? Centiskorch. Out of the options left, Dreadnought. Let's see. Are there even any competition for Dragon type? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put Dragapult for Ghost. Duraludon for Dragon, just because my experience is using Eviolite Duraludon and the Indigo Disc for Violet. For Steel type, yeah, Copperajah. Now, Hatterene is my favorite or Galarian Rapidash would beat both Psychic and Fairy types, but since I'm only allowed to use a Pokemon once, that's what I'll limit it to. Cinderace is my favorite of the starters. Out of all the gimmick forms, I'm going to say Alchemy just because of how creative it is. I do really like that. Then, honestly, Galarian Moltres for the legendary. I really love the design. Then, for my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon in general, Cinderace. For Gen 9, closing on the end of it, I'll say Maushold just because of how goofy it is. For this, a Skeledirge, Palafin, Meowscarada, Kilowattrel, Cetitan. What are the ghost type options? Okay, I'll put Sinistcha there instead. So, Annihilate for fighting, Sinistcha for ghost, Clodsire for favorite poison. Actually, yeah, no, Clodsire for favorite poison, which will leave Toedscroll for ground. Yeah, I prefer Toedscroll over Great Tusk, so never mind. Flying types, I already have Kilowattrel used, so Flamigo. For the Psychics, Espathra, it's fucking broken. For bugs, Lokix. Rocks, Garg. For the dragons, I'll say Hydrapple. Let's see. I've already used a lot of these Pokemon for Dark, so I'm going to go Kingambit. Tinkaton for Fairy. Gold. Okay, Ghost is already taken, so I'll go Goldengo for Steel. Skeledirge is the favorite starter. I'll say Taurus Blaze for favorite gimmick form. For the legendaries, Chi-Yu. Then favorite Gen 9 Pokemon in general is Clodsire. Favorite normal type out of this bunch, Staraptor. Obviously Typhlosion for fire. Lapras. Wow. There ended up being, out of all the starter types, the one that was most filled by starters was grass. Because, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fire had 6 out of 9 Pokemon being starters, or out of the choices, rather. Then Water had 4 out of 9. And finally, Grass had 7. So, yeah, wow. Just for the original Venusaur to beat them all out. Then Ampharos for electric. I'm going to say not Cubchoo. Mammothspine. For fighting type, Hawlucha. Poison type, Clodsire. It's Clodsire. Ground type, Excadrill. I already used Swellow for the normal type in that gen, so honestly, I'm going to say Flamigo just because I've gotten a real appreciation for the Pokemon after a lot of Pokerogue runs. Espeon. Excelgor is my favorite bug type. It's in my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time as well, so. Tyranitar. Sinistcha. I got a real connection to it from the Teal Mask DLC because I switched up my teams between main game, Teal Mask, and then Indigo Disc. I really enjoyed it every time. Which is also the same reason why this is honestly coming as a bit of... Actually, no, it's Garchomp. I was going to say Duraludon, but no, it's Garchomp. Then Dark types, Weavile. Steel types. Honestly, a Scavalier at this point. I was shocked, but hey. Oh, wait. Why did I choose Floette when Sylveon exists? Yeah, Sylveon's my favorite fairy from Gen 6. I completely forgot that it even existed, I'm not gonna lie. Togekiss is tied with it, but I guess I'll put Sylveon ahead of it. Typhlosion's my favorite starter, duh. My favorite out of all the gimmick forms is still Venusaur. Out of all the legendaries, Lugia. In general, still Typhlosion. Yeah, Then... Come on. There we go. Favorite regional bird, Starly. Favorite box legendary, Lugia. Regional mammal, Bidoof. Favorite mythical? Is there any that I've ever actually gotten to use? Not really. So I'll just say Arceus, I guess. As cheesy as it is. Suwaddle for regional bug. I love that thing. Favorite Ultra Beast. Naganadel. Pseudo Legend Tyranitar. Paradox forms. I'll say Flutter. Favorite Pika clone. I'm not going to include any of the Pika forms in this. Mimikyu is not really a clone, so I won't count it either. I'll say Pachi. Favorite type is Fairy. Favorite evolution, I'll put Espeon over Sylveon even though they're tied. Favorite Pokeball, Dusk Ball. Favorite fossil, Tyrantrum. Favorite regional form. Wait. Okay, going back, I'll put Lilligant over Surfetch for favorite fighting type from Gen 8. Favorite regional form is also going to go to Hisuian Lilligant. Favorite Vivion's going to go to the purple pattern. Favorite Gigantamax. I've never really been a big fan of the Gigantamax forms, I'm not going to lie. But what was the one that I put there? Alchemy is the one that I put there. Okay, so I guess I'll just go with Alchemy again. Favorite Alchemy is going to be... blue one with orange swirls, just because I really like that color contrast. Favorite baby Pokemon? Let's see. I'll say Badoo. Favorite new evolution throughout the gens? Clodsire. Actually, should I even count Clodsire? Because it's a convergent form and not technically a new Evo. Or wait, no. It would be a new Evo, actually, so never mind. But yeah. This is my favorite Pokemon of each category. Is there anything I would change? Nope, I think we got everything down. Because I'm not doing the Spinda. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoy the first video of the year for me. And see you next time.